Some schools teach history, others teach science. But at Nevermore Academy, the lessons are written in blood, secrets, and shadows. A bolt of lightning cracks. The silhouette of Wednesday Addams appears, standing at the gates of Nevermore, her eyes cold, her posture unshaken. The camera glides slowly over a gothic landscape drenched in rain. Stone statues, gargoyles, and crooked trees loom like silent guardians of a dark secret. The voice continues, calm but chilling. She thought she had escaped the nightmare. She thought the darkness of Nevermore was behind her. But Wednesday Addams was never meant for peace. She was made for the storm. The music builds low, a pulsing rhythm of drums and faint piano notes, echoing like footsteps in an empty hallway. The shot cuts to the inside of Nevermore Academy. The walls are lined with old portraits whose painted eyes seem to follow. Candles flicker in long corridors, dripping wax like time running out. Wednesday walks alone, her sharp black shoes tapping against the floor. Her face, pale and unreadable, carries the weight of unsolved mysteries. Then the voiceover deepens. This fall, Nevermore Academy opens its doors once again, but the darkness that lingers here has grown stronger, hungrier, and more dangerous than ever before. The scene flashes. A raven lands on a cracked window pane, staring directly at the audience. Its beak opens, releasing not a caw but a scream that echoes into silence. The camera cuts to Wednesday's eyes. They narrow, focused, almost daring the shadows around her to reveal themselves. And in the heart of the storm stands Wednesday, cold, unshaken, and ready to face whatever haunts these halls. The sound swells as lightning splits the sky again. Quick flashes, a crypt door creaking open, a candle blown out by unseen breath, shadows stretching across the classroom walls. The narrator whispers, "Nevermore isn't just a school. It's a graveyard of secrets, and this year they are clawing their way back to life." The section closes with Wednesday standing at the academy gates, the rain pouring around her but never touching her composure. A slow, sinister smile creeps onto her face, fade to black. The storm fades into silence. A single piano note echoes lonely and haunting. The screen reveals Wednesday Addams standing at the center of Nevermore's grand hall. Her black braids hang like chains on either side of her face. She doesn't smile, doesn't blink, just stares forward as if she already knows what the future holds. A deep, deliberate voice speaks. She is not here to fit in. She is not here to play their games. She is here because the shadows refuse to let her go. The camera cuts closer. Jenna Ortega's Wednesday tilts her head ever so slightly, her eyes piercing through the candlelit darkness. Around her, students whisper, fearful yet fascinated. She is still the outcast among outcasts, the one who doesn't just survive Nevermore Academy. She bends it to her will. Then the atmosphere shifts. The voiceover sharpens, laced with intrigue. But this season, a new face walks into Nevermore. A face both dazzling and dangerous. And when beauty hides venom, every glance can become a weapon. The screen flickers to black, then bursts with sound as a heavy door slams open. Enter Lady Gaga. Her presence is electric, larger than life, wrapped in shadows and light. She is not a student, not a peer, but something more threatening, an authority cloaked in elegance. Her heels echo across the marble floor like the ticking of a clock. The camera only shows fragments, her gloved hands sliding across the surface of an ancient book, her shadow stretching impossibly long against the walls, her lips curling into a smirk that hides centuries of secrets. Some call her a professor, others call her a savior, but Wednesday knows the truth. Every predator disguises itself as a teacher first. The screen cuts to a chilling interaction. Gaga's character bends down toward Wednesday in a dimly lit classroom. Her voice drips with mockery. "You think you've mastered darkness, child? Darkness is not something you tame. It's something you serve." Wednesday doesn't flinch. She leans forward, her voice flat and cutting. "Then I'll be the one predator who doesn't bow." The tension is suffocating. Two forces collide. Gaga's character, glamorous and sinister, against Wednesday, sharp and unbreakable. One thrives in control, the other in defiance. The narrator whispers, "Nevermore has never seen a duel like this." The student versus the professor. Innocence versus experience. Shadow versus shadow. Montage begins. Quick cuts. Gaga's character standing at the center of a ritual circle, her hands raised as crimson flames swirl around her. Wednesday holding a dagger etched with runes, her reflection split in a shattered mirror. Students looking on, torn between admiration and fear. The moon, full and red, casting its light over the academy grounds. The music grows restless, louder, with a beating rhythm that mimics a racing heart. And yet, even as enemies rise, allies fall. Friendships strain under the weight of suspicion. Because in this season, no one knows who to trust, not even Wednesday herself. The camera cuts to glimpses of familiar faces, Enid's worried eyes, Xavier's clenched fists, Bianca's silent anger. Each of them framed as if hiding something. Each of them caught in the tangled web that Gaga's character seems to weave with every word. Every glance, every secret. The narrator's tone lowers, dragging the audience into the dread. But while others fear her, Wednesday studies her, because every mask cracks, every secret spills, and when two queens of darkness finally collide, only one will rule these halls. The music peaks in a dramatic swell. Gaga's laughter echoes in the darkness, blending with the haunting image of Wednesday's silent, unwavering stare. The section closes with a single chilling line, whispered over a black screen. Darkness has chosen its heir, but who will survive long enough to claim the crown? The sound of a ticking clock fills the silence, slow, heavy. Each tick feels like a heartbeat inside a coffin. Every secret bleeds. Every shadow moves, and every lie comes back to collect its debt. The screen lights up with flashes. A crypt door creaks open on its own, dust scattering like whispers from the past. A hand, pale and trembling, reaches for a torch. Then Wednesday's voice cuts through the darkness, cold and sharp. This school was built on graves. Now it's time to dig them up. The camera swings through Nevermore Academy's hidden places. Forgotten tunnels lined with bones. Libraries with shelves of books chained shut. And a forbidden forest where the trees themselves seem alive. Bending toward intruders, the narrator's tone deepens. But when the past refuses to stay buried, the future becomes a battlefield. The screen bursts into chaos, a ritual gone wrong. Students circle in chanting voices, candles flicker violently, and then a blast of crimson light shatters the night. One student screams, another vanishes into smoke. Shadows spill across the academy grounds like liquid poison. Cut to Wednesday running down a hallway, her footsteps echoing. The walls bend, twisting unnaturally as if the building itself wants to swallow her. Something has awakened inside Nevermore, something older than the academy, older than Wednesday, and it wants her blood. The montage grows faster. Enid claws at a locked door, her eyes glowing with fear. Xavier sketches a monster furiously on his canvas, only to see it crawl out of the page, alive and snarling. Bianca stares at her reflection in the mirror, but the reflection moves on its own, smiling while she does not. Then Gaga's voice slices into the chaos. Do you see now, child? You don't fight the darkness. You feed it, or you're consumed. A clash of visuals. Wednesday's blade colliding with Gaga's staff, sparks flying like fireworks. Both of them framed as predators circling each other. The music pounds harder, relentless. But the war at Nevermore is not only between teacher and student. It is between truth and lies, loyalty and betrayal, love and survival. Quick cuts of broken trust. Wednesday glaring at Xavier as he hides something behind his back. Enid crying, her claws stained with blood she swears isn't hers. Bianca turning away, her voice low. I can't follow you into this, Wednesday. Friendships crack like shattered glass. The narrator whispers, and when every ally looks like an enemy, even Wednesday must ask, who will stand beside her when the final shadow falls? The visuals darken further. A full moon drenched in red light. A beast howling in the forest, its form hidden but its eyes glowing like fire. A cloaked figure watching from a tower, their face hidden behind a silver mask. Wednesday's face fills the screen, pale, determined, her eyes reflecting the chaos around her. She whispers almost to herself, fear is just weakness leaving the body, and I have no weakness left. The screen erupts into fire and blood. Gargoyles shatter, crashing into the ground. Students scream as shadows drag them across the floor. A storm rages above, lightning striking closer and closer to Nevermore's heart. The music reaches its peak, drums like thunder, strings screaming in terror. This season, every secret costs a life. Every choice writes a death sentence, and Wednesday Addams will discover that darkness doesn't wait for permission. It takes what it wants. The section closes with a chilling image. Wednesday standing alone in the courtyard, drenched in rain and blood, staring upward at the looming figure of Gaga's character. Silhouetted against the storm, the narrator whispers one last line. When shadows rise, the world will choose its survivor. The screen is black. For a moment there is no sound. Only silence, then a single heartbeat. Slow, heavy. The sound grows louder, echoing like a war drum. The storm has broken, and the war for Nevermore has begun. The screen bursts into life. Lightning tears across the sky, illuminating the academy in ruins. Towers burn, windows shatter, and students run through smoke-filled hallways. The once grand halls are now a battlefield of shadows. The narrator's voice sharpens. This is no longer about survival. This is about domination. Fast cuts explode onto the screen. Wednesday leaps from a crumbling staircase, her blade flashing as she slices through a shadowy beast. Enid, half-wolf, claws slashing against an enemy that refuses to die. Xavier's drawings crawl off the page, an army of monstrous creatures fighting at his command. Bianca's voice, like a siren's song, shatters glass as enemies clutch their heads in agony. The music crashes, louder and more relentless than before. Then Lady Gaga's character appears. Cloaked in firelight, her hands raised, eyes glowing with unearthly power. Her voice echoes, layered and distorted, as if 100 voices speak through her at once. The world is built on fear, and fear is mine to command. The ground cracks beneath her. Flames erupt, swallowing the courtyard in a storm of red and black. Students scream, pulled into the fire as Gaga's laughter rises above the chaos. The camera snaps to Wednesday. Standing tall, her hair whipping in the storm, her face blank but her eyes burning with defiance. She whispers under her breath, so quiet it almost disappears beneath the thunder. Not while I breathe. The music cuts out for a single second of silence. Then an explosion of sound. Quick montage, faster and faster. A massive door slamming shut with chains. A raven flying through fire, wings outstretched. Wednesday drenched in blood but smiling. Gaga's hand gripping Wednesday's throat, eyes locked in battle. A silver mask cracking in half, revealing the face of a traitor. A graveyard, coffins opening on their own. A tear falling from Enid's eye as she turns her back on Wednesday. Wednesday alone, stepping into a circle of glowing runes. The narrator's voice grows darker, heavier, final. This season, the darkness is not outside. It is inside, and every soul at Nevermore must decide. Embrace it, or be destroyed by it. The music surges to its absolute peak, strings shrieking, drums pounding like cannons. The visuals become relentless, the academy collapsing, students battling, blood staining the stone floors. And in the center of it all, Wednesday and Gaga's character circling one another like wolves before the kill. Then, silence. The screen cuts to black. A single line of dialogue breaks the quiet. Wednesday's voice, low, steady, dangerous. The thing about monsters is, they should be afraid of me. A sharp gasp of strings. The Netflix logo slams onto the screen in blood-red letters. Text on screen. Wednesday Season 3 coming soon, and just before the screen fades to black, one last sound cuts through. Gaga's haunting laugh, echoing, lingering as if it refuses to end.